I second the
We
motion.
got a motion, a second, any discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Item number 1 is authorization for the mayor to negotiate protective buyouts of selected properties on Academy Drive. Mr. Mayor and Mike?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Crowe. As you and I have discussed and have been on site to see for ourselves, and as you saw last week in our presentation of both on neighborhood drainage and Noah's Ark, the Academy Drive area of Tuscaloosa has experienced some serious flooding. And in particular, there are areas within the Academy Drive neighborhood, even with the improvements that would be made from a recommended project as part of Noah's Ark, that would still likely or could likely experience flooding. We're recommending the protective buyout and voluntary purchases, mind you, of 3 particular properties. One would be the Kirby property at 2126 Antietam, the Limbaugh property at 636 Stone River, and the Goldsmith property at 641 Stone River. In a second, Mr. Gardner is going to show you on a Google map where they are located, and the proximity to the creek that runs through there will probably give a better illustration of why we're making this recommendation. I do want to underscore that what this resolution would do was give us the authority to negotiate. Again, any sort of buyout would have to be voluntary. The funding for this would come from the budget amendments that will be placed on Finance Committee following this meeting, and with the remainder coming out of the Neighborhood Drainage Fund. Mr. Gardner, would you show the locations to the City Council and talk about why we believe these are homes that we feel a protected purchase would benefit not only the homeowner, but also the city as a whole?
So I'm gonna start at the 2 addresses on Stone River Road. We have 641 on the south side, and that's actually the Limbaugh. And the Goldsmith is on the north at 636. If you'll remember from the presentation, we had some images with the road. You know, the stream was overtopping the road. So that's the issue at this location. When it's overtopping the road, these homes are receiving water, they're getting flooded. The third address is on Antietam, and this is the Kirby property here. Also reminding you what we discussed in the Noah's Ark portion of Academy Drive, that we had some flooding issues that starts kind of on Manassas Avenue, which is in this location right here. There's a storm network that runs between these 2 homes, works its way through the backyard and between these 2 residences. And we have flooding in Antietam at this location. And that's really what kind of perpetuates the flooding of the Kirby property there.
The homes, if purchased, would be sloped that would help with the drainage in the areas. I had a cursory conversation, I think you did too, with the HOA president yesterday as well. And it would probably be something that we would work with the HOA and letting them be able to create pocket parks or something within the neighborhood so they could still be put to good use within the neighborhood. Again, I want to say that even with the 3.7 million, I think, estimated for the Academy Drive drainage project, we can't guarantee that these homes still would not experience some sort of flooding. That's why we think it's just in the best interest we go ahead and make these protective purchases. I suspect we will be doing this in many other districts of the city as well if we move forward with the Noah's Ark plan as presented last week. Mr. Gardner and I will be happy to answer any questions. Mr. Crowe, I want to thank you for your leadership out there and I know you were out there the moment it happened and since that time, I appreciate your leadership in getting us to this point.
To your, thank you, Mr. Mayor, to your comments, this is a short-term solution to this problem, but the longer term will have to be covered in Noah's Ark. And Mike, when we had our engineering meeting today, we were talking about this, that we got the presentation from the mayor and the discussion that we had work session last week. And we need to, I guess, through the committee, I would like to see that come to the committee what we talked about next week, where we can take a vote to move, because there's the short-term issue, that's the $4 million, and then the other is the longer-term issue about Noah's Ark, and my thoughts were we would move that through projects next week and see what conversation colleagues have, what other concerns are there, to try to move that through next week to start that process. Mr. Mayor, is that kind of what you're
Yes,
thinking,
sir.
y'all are thinking?
Yes, sir, we'll be happy to.
Because then we'd have to move it on finance with Chairman Busby. I'm sure he'd be fine with that, but the next week or so. But I know that we've got budget coming on the 19th, 2 weeks. So we just need to kind of get this rolling, because I know there's several projects that are in the $4 million, and I know a couple of them, one of them, some we've already funded in my district, but they're ready to go, that we need to kind of get started on. There's one at Northampton. Yeah. There's one at Northampton and one at Waterfall that's not a real expensive project, but I know we can't do that till we get that approved by council, so I hope we can do that shortly. Mr. Bobby, I don't know if we could do that next week, or maybe 4th or 19th, if that's possible.
We got a busy 19th, but, time
Next
ready.
week. Yeah, we might just try to move that to finance, if you'll, as we do the agenda, Carl, for next week, maybe we can do that to finance after.
So a question on this from Mayor or Mike, how is the authorization to negotiate couched? Is it up to a certain amount? Is it within a certain percentage of appraisal? Or is it carte blanche but comes back here for final approval?
The way that I understand it.
When I say carte blanche, I don't mean that insultingly, but
I think it's open-ended, but the appraisal will be the guideline by which we will
but
proceed.
it comes back here for
Yes.
approval.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
I don't have any further
Cassius, do you have any
questions.
comments or questions?
Motion.
Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item number 1 is approved.
Thank you.
Item number 2 is approval to award a contract to Suncoast Infrastructure for the 3rd Avenue North Trunk Sewer Repair Project. The total is $163,148. Mr. Curry?
Yes, sir. We got called out to a subsidence or a sinkhole. Ended up being an issue with our 24-inch clay trunk line. It's in the area just north of James I. Harrison, east of 3rd Avenue North, along Crispinville Creek.
Third Avenue East.
3rd Avenue East, I'm
Cassius,
sorry.
your district, John. Cassius. Is yours or John? 6?
Seven. So this is, what we need to do is get in there and make a repair. The pipe's open and flowing. We need to make a repair and line the pipe, but rehab it with our cast in place line, our cured in place line. So we took bids. There was 5 bidders. Suncoast Infrastructure was the low responsive bidder. The project is funded through our water and sewer special project rehab and repair account.
Special.
That's the name.
Who's
Any questions?
Suncoast Infrastructure?
They're a specialty contractor. They're regional. I would say we've worked with them before. They're specialized in this rehab, cured in place pipeline.
Questions?
How much money's in that special
So it starts with
special project pipes manhole rehab repair account?
It starts with $1.2 million. There's another item, 2 items in now, but the primary funding for our rehab repair contract, roughly $900,000. But so 1.2 is the answer.
Okay, and this is taking 163 out,
Yes, sir.
and then there's another 9 and change you're about to ask for?
Well, I'm about to ask for a change order to that rehab repair contract that'll use up the rest of the repair and rehab budget.
Okay.
Questions?
Second.
Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 2 is approved. Item number 3 is approval of a minor public works contract with Price Civil Services for raw meter replacement at Southern Ionics. The total is $43,500. Brian?
Yes, sir. So Southern Ionics is an industry on the river, on the very eastern edge of, our raw water line and domestic water line. They have a couple rolling meters right now and some city distribution system interior to their operations. That piping's old, it's leaking, so what this is we're gonna back out, put a new 12-inch raw water meter in a logical place outside their operations. They're gonna extend to this new meter. So that's the project. We took quotes for the installation. Price Civil Services was the low quote. The project is funded through meter capital repairs and supplies to operational account. So, any questions?
And how much is in there?
$100,000. $100,000.
I don't have any questions.
Any more questions, your motion?
So moved.
Move second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 3 is approved. Item number 4, approval of change order number 4, year 3 for the sanitary sewer rehab and repair project. Total is $121,348.39. Brian?
Yes, sir. So we just talked about this a little bit, but this is our contract. We have a call out for sewer repair. This is the contract we use. It's a on-call contract. Lots of reactive work. So we're up to the threshold of the original contract amount, roughly $879,000. So we're requesting change order for the rest of that special project rehab and repair budget to cover us through the end of the fiscal year.
To cover what?
Cover us for any reactive call out to the end of the fiscal year.
So there's not
September.
work pending now that requires it, you're just asking for it to be there in case?
Yes. I mean, there's work we've done already that we've got called out for over the contract amount. And so we average roughly 37,000 a month on reactive call outs.
Okay.
So if we come in under.
So you have a calculable rough average of how that goes, even though you don't, because it's reactive, you don't know what it's gonna go for.
I don't, and I mean, we're about lining up with the average, if the
Okay.
average hits. If it comes in under, we'll come back and deduct it. If it comes in over, we'll have to ask for it,
Promise,
I promise.
I'll write that down.
It's on the record.
He makes a lot of promises for this committee.
Motion.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. Item number 4 is approved. Thank you, Brian.
Yes, sir.
Item number 5 is approval of contract with DAC Dynamics for collection and processing of all recyclable electronics for the city. Total is $2,400 per year paid to the city. John, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is just a request for authorization to enter into a recycling services contract. DAX Dynamics will handle all of our electronic recycling, flat screen TVs, printers, modems, whatever they come up with, they will collect it all and process it and pay us $2,400 a year.
John, when is that day coming up when they
They
do
pay us.
the hazardous waste? I know you have the hazardous waste day, but just for things like these
We used to
electronics.
have an e-waste day. We currently don't have it anymore. We just have a household hazardous waste day.
Okay.
And yes, sir, they're paying us.
Are we gonna have
Come back to see us.
Are we gonna have a place you can take your
Good night,
electronics?
Rev.
Or do
We
we,
take electronics every day at our
every day,
facilities.
okay, that's what I thought.
Cheap to me. Good, John. Question?
Most,
Second.
Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 5 is approved. Thank you, John. Item number 6 is approval of balancing change order to the construction contract with Central Alabama Asphalt Construction for the citywide resurfacing 2024 project, a deductive total of $302,202.80. Zach, welcome.
Good afternoon, Council.
Good afternoon.
So we're seeking approval for the balance and change order for the 2024 resurfacing project with Central Alabama Asphalt for a deductive total of $302,202.80.
We talked a little bit about this in my meeting with you guys today, but if we approve this, tell me where that $2,000 goes, because we're talking about it'll be dumped into the next
District 4.
well, the next
I thought it
contract.
said 6, is what I heard.
7.
Yeah, I knew that was coming, all the meetings, so what happens?
In the past, it's all kept under resurfacing to use as a contingency for future projects if they go over.
It's the starting balance for next year?
It can add to it. So we approved a certain amount of money and then this can add to that, so we can, bid for a higher property.
It's been both in previous years. Just if the road comes up that has a failure or something, we may pull from it or.
Got to sit down.
Motion.
Second.
We could spend that money in 15 minutes, I know we could, Zach.
We can take that along.
Zach, I got a motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
That'll get you about 100 yards.
Not very far.
Not very far.
That would
Item
help the
number
people
6
in Idlewood.
is approved. Item number 7 is approval of contract amendment to the engineering services contract with McGivern and Associates for the Northern Riverwalk Phase 2 project. Bill, welcome.
Right.
Afternoon.
So as you said, for the Northern Riverwalk Phase 2, this is an amendment to the existing contract with McGifford. And the amendment includes those items that are shown there. It's acquisition and easement support primarily, but also some additional work for adjustments to the bridge and the trail route. I'll get into some details justifying that change here in a couple slides. But let me add some additional information that I apologize for, it's not on the slides. The original contract amount was for $747,840. This amendment will be for $65,375 to address those items we had on the screen a moment ago, and I'll address in a moment. And so that'll bring the new contract value to $813,215. That's all coming from the previous budget item, which was elevate funds to bring it through the design. Orientation, from City Hall to the project location up to the top right of the screen, about 5 miles to the northeast of City Hall. What Northern Riverwalk Phase 2 will do is connect to the bottom left, which is the extent of the Northern Riverwalk Phase 1 project, just over 1.6 miles to the west end of the new McWrightsbury Road pedestrian bridge. So a 12-foot wide multi-use path that will connect those 2 points, bring some kind of connectivity to those 2 points. So primarily this amendment is to move to the property acquisition phase, get support we need to take that to the next step. And the other 2 items are to adjust some route changes that came after the concept, because this will allow us to significantly shorten the bridge crossings. The project has 6 bridge crossings. If you have the opportunity to travel this crushed stone path, the concept is to take advantage of that existing crushed stone path as much as possible, but to deviate these bridge crossings so that we can shorten the crossing locations. And it's likely to save us about 10 times the amount that we're investing in the design effort for the construction of the project ultimately. So well worth the investment to do some changes now to ultimately save money in construction.
Bill, what kind of timelines associated with this?
So preliminary design review is the stage we're at now. Previous schedule has about
We're at
6
the review of the preliminary design.
So approximately 6 to 7 months to get us through to the completion of the design phase and be ready for construction. Currently, that puts us still in advance of the funding being ready to award construction. So a good place to be in, that we have a few months of float to have the project ready to go in advance of having the funding.
And when this says engineering services contract, does that include through the construction phase?
Currently, that contract does not include the design services during construction. So, sequence of events, we wanted to get the cost estimate in, make sure we have the budget tight, make sure we're ready to go, and then follow through with all of the necessary items for the design contract.
So for the phase that covers the construction, that request for bids would normally have engineering services for that phase included in it. This is 7 and change, adding 63 or 65, getting us up over 8, but that's just getting us to that. We've got preliminary design complete, check.
So that'll bring us through preliminary design, all the way up to the 90% design phase. And what we would come back with is an amendment potentially to bring this design engineering services contract, all the way through the completion of the design and through the construction phase, which funding is available in the current budget.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 7, approved, thank you, Bill. Item number 8 is approval of a minor public works contract with West Alabama Mechanical to remove and reinstall an air compressor at the Tuscaloosa Police Department headquarters. The total is $4,660. Tim?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is to replace the existing air compressor that serves the TPD fleet shop. It is original to the building, so it's 35 plus years old. And so, this is funded by TPD's outside services and will be completed over the weekend.
It's a long time to have an air compressor.
It really
Pretty
is.
good.
Motion.
Pretty good.
I bet this one doesn't last as long.
No problem.
They don't make them like they used to. Got a motion
And the second.
and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 8 is approved. Item number 9 is approval of a minor public works contract with Control Climate Heating and Cooling for purchase and installation of an HVAC unit in Annex 1. The total is $7,156.13. Tim?
Yes, sir. So this is funded by the CFG 5-year plan, and it is to add a mini split HVAC unit in the mechanical room right across the hallway. As we've been transitioning our access control systems, city hall wide, that room has become a hub for access control equipment. And because those spaces are not generally heated and cooled, we want to make sure we protect our investment in all of our new access control, keep that room cooler, give us some stabilization in there. And so that's why we're asking to add this unit.
Questions?
Motion. Second.
Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 9 is approved. Item number 10 is approval of a minor public works contract with Data Plus Security to renovate drive-through at Annex 3. The total is $23,008.15. Tim?
So this is also this is funded by the Water and Sewer Facility Renewal, and this is to replace the pneumatic tube system that is in the water business drive-through.
Questions?
I'm sorry, walk me through that.
Yes, sir. It's the tube system like you have at the bank, drive-through.
That-
Yes, sir. Exactly. This system, I believe, is original to the building, so it's approximately 20 or close to 20 years old, and it is due for replacement.
And what do you call that?
Pneumatic air control.
20 years, a long time.
Motion.
Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 10 is approved. Item number 11 is approval of professional services contract with Overcash Design Studio for architectural and engineering basic services for the city of Tuscaloosa monument signage. The total is $15,750. Tim?
Yes, sir. So as some of you have seen, we've been working on this conceptual design for a new Welcome to Tuscaloosa sign to be placed on McFarland as well as University Boulevard in Alberta. We have got Chandler Overcash here with us today. He provided this conceptual rendering, and this is, which is funded by the CFG 5-year plan. This is to take us to full design and cover civil, electrical, and all architectural scope, and take us through. These funds will also take us through the construction phase once we get to that point.
Questions?
Architects here,
Yes, sir.
come on up and tell us about what we got here.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody.
Hey, you're Chandler.
Yes, I'm Chandler Overcash with Overcash Design Studio.
Yeah, and tell us what you're designing for us.
So this is the 2 monument signs, approximately 6 feet by 20 feet, to be located in the right-of-way, which is being coordinated through AlDOT right now. For the one-sided sign, although there is landscaping beds to make sure it's attractive from all sides.
Are these usable in other places? This is just for 2 places?
Correct. So this will become kind of the standard, as I understand it, for future signs. Tim might know more about
Where's
future
Tim?
plans.
Sorry, sir.
Where would these 2 be?
These 2 are so inside his services are not only design, but it includes construction phase services for 2 locations. These will be located on the right of way McFarland Boulevard as you cross Watermelon into Tuscaloosa, and on the right of way in Alberta. I believe we're looking near the Gateway Center. We're still kind of deciding the exact locations.
Does it include a leaving Alberta on the back side?
You know, since it's greater Alberta, you never leave.
You never know.
Like Hotel California?
But you said, I think, and excuse me if I may,
No, you're recognized, Chair
Okay,
recognized.
thank you.
Mr. President.
but this would just be the beginning, you think? I mean, we do it other places, 11 South,
Right.
down at Skyland, somewhere.
Sure, yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Part of this,
What's your style? But this is interesting.
Yeah, I knew you'd say it, the Genesis, part of this, upgrade the highway between High Forest.
Yeah, no,
Once you come from Northport, is several residents have asked me, Northport's got a real nice sign, why don't we, because there is an area there, but a lot of that was just driven by that road work that happened with about that whole area, so. But I mean, I think it'd be a great way to really put them all across the city. in different
Thanks, Ken.
places. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Motion, Haynes.
Second.
That's fine. Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 11 is approved. Item number 12, approval of minor public works contract with Chip Griffith Construction for courtroom B office upgrades, totals $5,800. Scott, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, so this is over in Annex to Coring, there's 4 offices that need to be, basically some touch-up, patch, paint, remove a interior window, and, modify some cabinets.
Where's the money coming from?
This will come from the City Hall Facility and Security Improvements Fund.
Okay.
Good question. Got a motion, second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 12 is approved. Item number 13 is approval of amendment number 1 to the minor public works contract with Global Fire Sprinklers, increasing the amount of compensation by $8,200 for a total not to exceed $16,750. Scott?
Okay, so this is, amendment to increase the, not to exceed amount. We thought we had 600, so fire extinguishers, I think we talked about last year, we had 732. So we just need to increase that to be able to do.
Well, if we thought we had 600 and we got 700, why did the cost go from 8,200 to 16,000?
It's not. We had let's see, so it's.
I mean, you follow my math
Yes, I
there?
do, but you really can't understand, like the fire department, how many fire extinguishers they're gonna use. How many tests they're gonna do.
I don't have to understand the fire department. I got a fire chief there. Come on up, Mark. Come on up, tell us about this.
They're not cheap either.
No.
What you want to know?
So why would a contract double? Because we discovered we had 100 more fire extinguishers on the top.
I wasn't involved in this contract. But I'd be willing to look at it.
I think we'll get to
Okay.
that. Would you find out an answer?
Yes, I mean, as far as charging each unit, it's just information that we're gathering, and we'll have hard to know.
Does any of it maybe part of the cost that we've seen other places we need to put them? Or is it just replacing, is this adding new fire extinguishers, or is it just replacing?
It's adding new replacement, it's different charges for 20 pounds, 10 pounds, 5 pounds, just
Depending on what's needed,
yes.
because those aren't cheap, those.
Motion.
Second.
Motion, second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Item number 13 is approved. Last but not least, Mr. Case, item number 14, authorization for execution of professional services agreement with PTL for professional environmental assessment services for the Office of Community and Neighborhood Services. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, Councilman, Mayor. We're requesting authorization for the mayor sign agreement with PTL to perform environmental assessments for us for our federal funding projects.
Are they currently doing that, Jeff?
They were, the contract that they had with us previous, it needed stuff, we put in an RFP, and we came through and selected them out of all the people that responded to the RFP.
So what type of environmental assessment? is it?
It's NEPA environmental assessment.
Say again?
NEPA, National Environmental Policy Act. Anytime we
So what
spend
is-
federal money on a project, we have to go in and make sure that we're not breaking any federal laws. That's it.
Well, give me an example.
Say if we were one of the river walk where he's building up, going through there, it's gonna mess with any hava lilies, endangered species, or woodpeckers, or if there's any wetlands, or if there's a dry.
How
land.
long I don't wanna mess with woodpeckers.
You don't get the hippies on you.
Huh?
The bats, too, don't forget that.
Long-eared Canadian
I'll
bat.
never forget.
Well, we don't have limestone.
That's on the pedestrian road.
Where's the
showers at
money-
Shelby Park.
It's CDBG money.
Huh?
It comes out of CDBG.
That came.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
So we say-
Item number 14 is approved. Before, hey, Kimberly, can, I had asked Mark, and I've got to follow back up with him about, I wanted him to do a presentation to us about, I'm getting a lot of complaints again about, damage from wakeboards, wake boats and all that stuff at the lake. And Mark's supposed to be working on something where we can have a discussion about part of that. Because I asked him, and y'all may know this, because you'll have to talk to Scott Holmes about this too, but regulatory wise on Lake Tuscaloosa, we visited this, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. I just can't remember what we can, what we can't do. I believe that the only way you can regulate part of that is through a local bill, through the state. And I think that's something that, I'm not saying we're gonna do that, but there are a lot of property owners who are beginning to call me about this, and probably a couple of them are gonna come up here.
I'm getting asked as well,
Yeah.
and they got a very valid point.
This council has very broad regulatory control on Lake Tuscaloosa for vehicle regulation. It wouldn't require a local act. It's something.
Why did they have to do it like Mark? What's different about Lake Mark?
My guess is whoever owns Lake Martin. So we own our lakes.
Yeah, Alabama
So
Power.
so we don't have to have a local bill to do that. But I thought we could, when we talked about modeling something, I can't remember, Scott, it's been several years since we.
Sure, I've had some conversations with Mark about it
But-
recently.
Yeah, I think there was some talk originally that we could join their bill,
Yeah,
but I
Smith
don't
Lake was
think
what
we
it
were
was.
wanting to join it quite exactly the way the
They-
regulations
yeah.
were called out.
Yeah.
Because we do have lots of parks in Lake Tuscaloosa where it's fine to have it, where it's rock face, it's not
That's right.
eroding the bank, and so that bill was almost like completely banning it, and I don't think that's what our intentions were.
No.
So who's working on the modifications to make it suitable for Lake Tuscaloosa?
So Mark and I are working on areas that we have, that we feel like are areas that we could allow it or disallow it or unallow it. And then some of the regulations we talked about, we've thrown some other things around just about not riding with it down, unless you're actually wakeboarding or whatever. So, but yeah, so we've reached out to Scott about it and we've got conversations going.
Perfect.
So are you
So-
wanting us to come back to have like a broad conversation about it?
Sometime, committee, absolutely.
Okay.
Sometime, just whatever, because we don't want to do it before we have all the facts.
Yes,
You know,
so we're
but-
working on the areas
Yeah.
that we had planned on coming back to y'all with to show you the areas that we felt like it would be applicable and why on other areas.
And I think that there are a lot of places on the lake this is not gonna be an issue, to your point. But I think that the issue is probably whatever you pass or anything that we decide as a council to modify, right, is enforcement. And how that's gonna work. Because that's what I've told several of the residents about that, is just what's the enforcement and the enforcement mechanism, other than just, we've got, I don't even know, Chief, how many boats we've got on the lake, but I mean, we don't have.
We've got two,
don't say
that work
that.
after the helicopter division, it's, dissolved, I'm moving 2 additional officers to the lake, so I have more coverage out there.
But I mean, I think that's an issue that we just need to have a discussion about, because then there's gonna be the other side of it, it's gonna go bananas about part of that too, as soon as they hear about it, so it's kind of, what's the way to strike a balance with part of that, because when people are telling me, or I've had, I guess, 3 or 4 calls in the last week, that they've spent a bunch of money on their retaining walls or other things, and they're eroding, and their docks are being destroyed by part of this, it sounds to me like those boats probably shouldn't be going down a slough, they shouldn't be doing certain things that are happening. But I'm sure there is an answer for it, we just need to kind of, because there's several residents that want to come
to committees that have called me.
Yeah, and our goal is to make it so that we're good neighbors to everybody who lives on the lake.
Absolutely.
And also have the appropriate places so that we can do the recreation that people are wanting to do.
And it may be, to Scott's point, though, it may have been Smith Lake bill and something else, it was a local bill that it may have been who, it's probably, because I know Smith Lake is a power company. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the whole difference in that deal. But there was something that came up about buoys, Scott, remember that the state had to move the buoys? And we couldn't do that, so that was the reason I'm asking that.
Yeah, there are navigational objects and some other things that the state has authority over. But as far as vessel regulations, I mean, if this council wanted to say, we're not gonna allow boats anymore, that's something that's within the council's power.
But just, I know he's working on it, just when y'all are ready.
So can we set a time frame to have at least an inventory recap for us so that we even know where it stands?
Absolutely, but I mean, I think Mark and I had talked about sometime later in August, but do you think that's reasonable?
Yeah, or
And we-
whenever, I mean, we wanna get past the budget stuff, whatever's comfortable for y'all, we're good.
Yeah.
About the week after the August
Yeah.
19th.
Why don't we try to do it on 26th?
Okay.
That sound good, because I know he's working on stuff that you are too. And I can tell the audience in here, they're just on the edge of their seats. About this, everybody's excited.
Always.
Anyway.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask
Yes, sir.
a question?
Anytime.
Mr. Holmes, I think this, I've gotten, for some reason, 2 requests about, the Bama Bell, about the wanting some people, 2 different ones wanting to buy it and fix it up and do this and that. And they had questions concerning, can the park where it used to do, can they cater, these type of things. So who do I need to have them speak to? I know it's not me.
I don't know who, we don't own the Bama Bell.
As far as parking where they used to do, by the park, they just wanted to know who, in other words, who gives authority for them to dock.
I believe that's the Corps. Am I correct in that, Mr. Bobbitt?
our dock.
It's our dock. Mr. Bobbitt knows the Bama Bell intimately inside and out.
Should I just have them email you, Tom?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
He looks forward to the correspondence.
And any other questions you might have,
All right, sorry for getting a little rabbit trouble. Appreciate everybody's patience for a minute. Is there any other business to be brought before this committee? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion second, all in favor say aye.